Well, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to your next Love Where You Are update. I'm here with Eddie Johnson.
Adam, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man.
How's fatherhood treating you?
We're getting sleep. That's all I'm going to say.
Good.
We're getting sleep. We're good. Hey, you guys know that if we're in Eddie's office, a big announcement must be coming your way because this is the place and the space we use when something big is coming.
Or Jerry's in trouble.
You notice he's not in here right now. So, wanted to get some info to you on what's coming up next. We've talked over the summer about missional communities and some of the rhythms that they will live out together in community. But for a lot of you, you're wondering, okay, so what do I do with this next? So, Eddie, you want to give us a little insight on what's coming up this fall for us, maybe specifically here in Indiana?
Yeah, just celebrating. Adam and I just got the report. We had our largest non-Easter weekend at the Indiana campus this weekend.
Yeah.
Over 3,800 people came. And when I was talking about the number, it was packed.
Yeah.
So many new people. And what's cool is relationships, that people are inviting people.
Right.
I'm shaking the table here.
It's
I
not an earthquake, promise.
get excited about it. But just a lot of cool things going on. But at least the opportunity, we need to connect those people.
Yeah,
right? That's the beginning of discipleship, is connecting people to Jesus one another. Maybe you heard that.
Yeah.
And so men's groups, women groups, so some on-campus groups. A lot of that's starting after Labor Day. But August is kind of the time we give people an opportunity to connect.
That's right. And man, I love that you said connecting, because one of the on-ramps in connecting, we talked about missional community, but if we become too inside focused on this and we don't give people an on-ramp into that, that's where we miss it. So in the past for us, that's been Love Where You Are groups.
Right.
And many of your groups have, whether you realize it or not, just naturally started living out the rhythms of a missional community. But we've got to keep that on-ramp. Yeah. And for us this fall, those groups are going to be called neighborhood groups.
Yeah.
And that's a name change for us. So some of you might be wondering, why neighborhood groups? And Eddie, I know you've been in a lot of conversations around this. So
yeah, we've gotten a lot of feedback. We've done a couple rounds of this. And I think one of the things been confusing for people is Love Where You Are, thinking it's a Love Where You Are group. But we want to raise the value, has always been, and we haven't been the clearest on this, is Love Where You Are is what we want to do.
Yes.
It's where we want the gospel within walking distance of every home in Southern Indiana and in Louisville. Right. So we want to take it up this way. So I think neighborhood group is the idea, is that it's just people who love Jesus or want to learn about this. They come together on mission to learn what it's like to partner together with what God's doing right where they live, right where they work.
Right.
And so neighborhood is really where you do life.
Yeah, and so if you're thinking through your neighbors are literally where you live, where you work, and where you go.
Yeah.
And man, I know, like, kind of to this end, I'd have people all the time come up to me and say, I don't really do that Love Where You Are thing. And what they meant is, I'm not part of a group, and that's okay.
Right.
But every Christian, I believe, is called to love where they are.
That's exactly right.
And so kind of the heart behind everything that we're doing with what Eddie said with men's groups, women's groups, and neighborhood groups is to give us the tools and resources to connect to people and help them connect with Jesus and really, truly love where we are.
Yeah.
And so this fall, we've got a series that Dave and Kyle are doing on the book of Romans.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
It's going to be really good. The premise of it is in Romans 13, where Paul kind of says, hey, all this stuff I've written about, it's all gospel-centered. So out of that, the only debt that remains for you to pay is that you love the people God's placed around you. It all hinges on our love for God and our love for people. It's going to be a great conversation for neighborhood groups. So as we're thinking this through, Eddie, and people are thinking neighborhood, they might be thinking just where they live. But what are some other places, what would you like to see happen in Southern Indiana?
Oh, it'd be great. Because I think of career-type people. So Bill Weedman, for instance, he just says, Eddie, I'm most comfortable around cops. So we encouraged him, Bill, we'll go do that. And so he became a volunteer chaplain for the Louisville Metro Police Department, and he has done financial peace with those guys, marriage stuff. He lives his life around cops. Yeah. And so he's done a great job. And I think for all of us, trying to figure out where we do life.
That's right.
And who do we connect with the best.
Yeah, we've got some people that are doing some really cool stuff with schools. We've got some that are thinking through their kids do gymnastics, and so they're doing some really awesome stuff at SIGS here in Southern Indiana. Yeah. But we want to encourage you, wherever God has intersected your life with people, He's probably calling you on mission there. You don't have to add something onto your schedule, but who is already around you, and how can we help you take a step on mission with them? So if a neighborhood group is the answer to that, and most of you all, I think that answer is yes, because you've led in the past, we just need to know, are you back in?
Yeah.
And if that is not the answer, we just need to help you take whatever that next step is. So attached to this email, there are all the dates and information that they need to know for this time around, Eddie. And then we just need you to pray through that and kind of think, is this the best step for me to take this fall? Or who are the people that I feel called to, and how can we help best equip you and connect you with those people? So
we just want you to commit to be on mission somewhere.
That's it. Yeah. It doesn't have to be everywhere, but it needs to be somewhere.
That's right.
Starting next week, we'll be following up with you asking, hey, what is your next step? So be praying through that. Be looking for next week's update, and then we'll just kind of see what God has for you this fall. Sound good?
Sounds good, bro.
Hey, thanks, Eddie.
All right.
Appreciate it.
See
Bye,
you
guys.
Thanks so much.